So, Torianda passing, some more details. Let's just pay a little bit more attention to the footwork. So, again, I'm entering, I'm not going past the toe line because then Tyrone can make connection with me and the whole bottle we don't want to be doing. So again, I'll be making my grips. The problem with cutting the angle straight away, which last time we looked at, we just went from here to here. It's actually this hook here, because the minute I start to cut the angle this way, it kind of hooks me a little bit here. So you kind of want to be paying a little bit more attention to what we're doing with our feet. So the second I make my grips, the footwork is a side step, but if I just bring this one across, it's there. So a side step and back step. Okay? So the minute I make my grips, a side step and back step, then my knee would be coming in. We'll also look at the scenario of so that's our footwork. Once I make my grips, I take the step, I back step. But let's just say from this position, as I start to bring this knee in, Tyrone connects his left elbow. I mean, he knows I want to put my knee into this position. Okay, he can't really turn to face me because I'm driving laterally this way on this. But the minute I make my grips and I side step and back step, if I bring my knee in and I actually can't get it on his body and I'm here, this is not really, a good position for me, because I'm not physically, I need to be in this space. So a better option is, if I can't bring my knee past the hip because of the wedges he's made, I'm going to bring it behind the hip. And then we're going to look at pinning this knee and moving to north-south and getting to the frames. So, footwork again. I don't go past the toe line. I make my grips. I side step and back step. Okay. Now, as I start to try to bring my knee in, Tyrone's already made that wedge. So I'm going to physically bring my knee behind the hip. And I start pushing this to the mat. Okay. Now from there, of course, his hands are going to start making wedges on me, if that makes sense. And as I start to try and move towards head control, Tyrone's arms or hands are pushing on my body. Yeah? So from that position, I'm going to move towards north-south and kind of, smear those frames out of the way, and then I can control the body. We talked about earlier, anytime someone's pushing on me, it's all about angle change. What do I want? I want to get to his head, but again, he can post on me. So now it's all about changing the angle, the profile. You look about the surface that Tyrone has. When I turn my body this way, I'm just taking that surface away from him. Just turn around, bro, so we can get a better shot of the footwork. So yeah, so you're facing your camera. Let's go back a little bit. So again, I don't go past the toe line. The second I make the grips, I side step and back step. Obviously choice number one is I'm in. Choice number two is he's made that wedge, so I'm coming behind the hips and I'm looking to push this knee to the mat. Okay. The other thing I'm doing is I can be pushing this. Now all Tyrone has is frames, and he's going to start really pushing on me. So from that position, I'm going to start to tripod up, and then I'll just turn my hips to take my chest away from him, and I'm into north-south. Just turn around again, bro. This one? Yeah. So another option that can happen is, say I'm from the toe line, I make my grips here, and before I can actually take the step and the back step, Tyrone's too quick, grabs sleeve control, and then actually gets his feet onto my biceps. Again, you want to come from inside. Perfect, so we're here. Now, Torianda's definitely out the window, so I need a way of recovering from this. If you think about it, the soles of Tyrone's feet are actually pushing my elbows away from my body. So anytime my arms are like this is not good. So I think I want to be bringing them back this way. So let's just say make my grips, but I'm too late and he's already got here. So first thing I'm thinking about is bringing my elbows back in this way. If Tyrone, you know, I know his legs are stronger than my arms, but all I'm doing is connecting my elbows. Now the worst thing I can do is stay where I am, because now I'm above, or I'm in level with Tyrone's hip line. He starts straightening a leg and taking me out this way. You know, this is not good for me, and he can start to put in Danagher hooks and all this stuff. So anytime I make my initial grip, I'm about to work the pass or my footwork, and he makes grips and he's beating me to it. First thing I'm thinking about is elbows coming in, and then I just back off, if that makes sense. And now from this position I can start to work the pass again. You know? We could go down another route from there, because now he's a seated guard, but why should we? I just want to put him back on the mat again, and then I'll take my side step, my back step. If he's filling that space, my knee comes behind and I can start to shove. Then he starts making frames. Another thing I can be thinking about is coming under those frames. So we talked about turning our body that way. I can actually come under. Now, let's start to smear. We'll do one more thing. So, from our position, let's just say make the grips, but Tyrone's reaching to get a hook in. If you think about it, there's two, he can make hooks from the inside, alright, or he can make a hook from the outside. But if you notice, the minute I make grips, he's reaching. Now, if you're clumsy, just turn this way, bro, and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, I could make my grips, but I'm too close, and he's actually made those hooks. So we talked about how I do not want my legs past this toe line, so my legs are back and I make this grip. So I could be baiting Tyrone. Good players aren't going to do this, but you know, just in case, you know, you're up against someone that is stupid enough to actually do this. So I make this grip. Now he might decide to initiate some kind of control with his feet, and as he reaches to do, even if he's only going one or two, I just push his legs down and into the mounted position. When I go for this, I don't like this whereby when I make my grips and he starts to make a hook and I push his knees down and jump into the line. Woo! Right, we need to be a wee bit more smarter than that. So if I make this grip and he actually makes a hook and I can push this down, it's all about filling space, because I still have to get past these hands. So I just pin these to the mat, and the first thing I'm coming forward with is my shoulders, not my butt. Okay, don't do that and jump into the mount. Okay, so from there, once I pin his knees, I'm coming forward with my shoulders. Obviously Tyrone will be starting to post. Yeah, post. And now from there, it's just all about taking that away from him. Into all my stuff. I think that'll cover that. I won't do any more from there. Just a quick recap. So first one is footwork. Make the grip. Side step, back step, knee on belly. Okay. I make my grip. Side step, back step, but now he's made that wedge. So my knee's coming below the hip. I can push this down. As I shove that, I'm starting to spike him with my shoulder, and I can walk around from north south or come underneath to kill those frames. If I come in and I make my grips, but Tyrone's quick and he gets that and that, I'm looking to bring my elbows together and then walk away from the center line. So I'll be walking back to remove those. And now from there I can just initiate the same movement again. Side step, back step, and a knee on belly. Or, last but not least, I make my grips and I just feel he's reaching. Whether with one or even with two. The minute he does that, I push his knees down. But I don't jump in the mount. From there I just start to spike him with my shoulder. And as I drive in, If I go straight down, Tyrone can hold me back because he's got stiff arms, straight arms. He's structurally strong. So the minute I put weight on him, I'll be turning my body to take that surface that he's pushing on away from him, and then I can start to play my game from there. So, a few more layers from the Tori on the pass.